I did have you muted, but it's all right.
Wait, should I record on my SD card too so you can have it?
No, it's gonna live on YouTube.
I figured the Zoom was gonna live on YouTube. I don't know if you did the audio too or you care about it.
Yep, everything's up on YouTube.
Okay.
And we're live.
Yes.
All right, let me see where my patrons are. Tonight is a big night. Tonight is VMAs. It's Sunday evening. We got the housewives, we got whatever. So I was trying to pick like a new fall hour for us, my patrons, because we was up early, and I know some people like to watch from the West Coast. I know some people be all over. So trying to just figure out an hour that works for everybody. Hopefully this new hour is all right, because right after this, we're running right back to our TVs. Hello. Okay, so let's see if this new hour works. We are live. All right, I'm just gonna jump in and get started. Whoever ends up joining joins, and that would be cool. You guys, hello. It's Sunday evening. I do exclusive live shows twice a month here on Patreon, patreon.com/JustLatasha. And of course, I'm JustLatasha. Anyone who's joining on the watch and anyone who's joining in the rewatch, welcome. We're going to have such a good time tonight. We're talking about such a fun, beautiful movie. We're talking about B.A.P.S. And I always want to give my patrons something special, someone special, because you guys told me how much you like when the guests come on and join us. So let's be on our best behavior tonight. Let's do it. And without further ado, I want to bring someone. We was outside together. Okay, we was running them streets. Okay, we decades down. All right, a personal friend of mine and a phenomenal entertainer and live show host, because he goes on tour with, I don't know, his really fucking cool friends sometimes. Please welcome to the show, hey Assanté.
Hello, Latasha. Hello, everyone on Patreon. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Internet. Hello, world.
Yeah, how are you feeling tonight, sir?
Blessed, highly favored American princess, like a beautiful American princess. Is, you know, I'm a B.A.P. Whether I'm a prince or princess, I'm still a B.A.P. So you are definitely a B.A.P. So I'm glad to sit here and share this space with you as well as this particular movie.
Thank you so much. And you know what? Like, I always want to give my guests the choice, because I want people to like be passionate about like the movie and like whatever. So when you picked B.A.P.S, I was like, like let's do it. And I love doing that too, because people always pick movies that I forget about. I totally like, this movie is from, what was it, 97?
97, yes. 19... I was all of 9 years old.
Right, 1997, when we didn't know how evil Puff Daddy was. And like, it was a glorious time in Black culture. And you know what? It's such a pleasure to see Halle Berry be funny.
Yes, see Halle Berry be hilarious and not manic or stressed or bad. Like, we got to see Halle Berry chase a dream, which is what we've all been chasing. So we got to see Halle Berry. Well, Halle Berry always, you know, Halle been Berry, but we got to see Halle as a young bunny waiting to really grow into that berry.
Manic, stressed, or bad?
Listen, there have been movies where Halle Berry has been like, what's that white woman named Claire Danes? Like, I don't know if you've ever seen her in some shit, but Claire Danes, she was like young and like, you know, confused. And then she comes out the gate later on in Homeland, and she's like manic and all over the place. So it was like Halle Berry, we get to see her young and, you know, trying to make these choices with her life, chase a dream. And then she's like trying to find her baby. It's like crazy. It's like, damn, Halle, how did we get here? But this is as the career of an actress, not her actual personal life. So I can't make that distinction, but do I want to? No.
And what a cute booty she had in this movie too. I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. What are your initial thoughts about B.A.P.S, the film? Okay,
so initially, when I think about B.A.P.S, I think about both of the leads. I think about Halle Berry and Natalie Desselle and how both of them were so bad. And I think about how it's directed by Robert Townsend. So I think about all of the blackness, because you know at the end of every shot, stay black and protect your magic. Like, I think about how black this movie was, and I think it's beautiful, and I feel like we could I feel like we could use more Black content. As much as we gain Black content every year, I feel like we can always use more. But B.A.P.S, as a child, I didn't really have a discernment between Black and white at that age, because again, I was only 9 years old. But B.A.P.S was just so funny, and it was so endearing, and it was so sweet, and it's a movie that has lived with me for years. So I hope everybody, I don't want these to be like a cookout movie, but I hope everybody, Black or white or whatever, has had the chance, or the privilege rather, to enjoy the comedy and the love that lives in B.A.P.S.
Yes, this reminded me of just Black people existing, and we got so starved out from that genre of Black movies that we were like, why is everything so different and heavy and weird now? So B.A.P.S is, we're gonna have a good time. Hello, Kiara, who came into the room. Welcome. We're gonna have a good time with this movie. So let's just jump right in. All right. So B.A.P.S is the 1997 film that follows two tacky homegirls who moved to LA to become dancers, and instead they scam a dying millionaire, but eventually become Black American princesses. As mentioned by Assanté, directed by Robert Townsend, who deserves all of the things and all of the flowers. What an incredible, overlooked filmmaker, screenwriter, director. Like, we wouldn't have half the stuff in movies and TV and film without this man existing. And the fact that his name is barely mentioned is actually bothering me and my homegirls. Written by Troy Beyer and stars Halle Berry, Natalie, Desselle Reed, and Martin Landau, who was a pretty famous white man, and I didn't know.
I didn't know that either, honestly.
Yeah, so watching this movie, again, this is from 1997, is sort of chilling to see all of the past beloved Black celebrities that were in there. So R.I.P. to Miss Natalie Reed, of course, Bernie Mac, and Heavy D.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, it's crazy. Like, I remember... just to tackle a few points, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to watch with you, at first I was going to say Meteor Man. That's why I was like, well, no, I should do something else. I mean, you know how I am. Look, Mooney's Club, Sailor Moon, some Meteor Man heroes. I was going to do that whole thing, but I was like, no, let me do something else. And I was like, well, talking about Townsend, like B.A.P.S was the second. It was the only, well, you said movie, because Parenthood was a great show. And great TV show, but we're not here for that. So I was like, Robert Townsend, he'd been doing the damn thing back then. Like, I remember as a child thinking like, whoa, a Black director, like, who is this? What is this? And like following all this shit. And Meteor Man was somebody I don't remember now, but like I remember then as a child, like having watched a few different times. I don't know if it got syndicated on something, but I remember watching it like a ton of times. And so from that, watching B.A.P.S, this comedy, like with these women, because Meteor Man was really about, for the niggas, the dudes, the guys, and, watching somebody or watching people similar to where I felt like I would have been at that time, to watching these women who I now know are the original city girls live this tale of chasing their dream and getting caught up in some shit. And then the unconventional dreams, like Halle Berry, her character Niecy, her nigga wanted to do like was it like a pager, a cab pager service or some shit with his Jerry curl?
Yeah, all of them had they separate dreams, and it was a struggle, which we can all relate to those dreams that like we are chasing. And the fact that they were waitresses, I was like, this is hitting a little bit too close to home. Like,
especially in the South, everybody, and especially for me, like, especially for us who work in service as adults, but like especially in the South, I remember being like a child, and the few times that, because children, if you got to go out, it was a special occasion. I hope you got some good grades or something, because I guess that's why I was going out. Because some kids be like, I didn't get to go out. I got to go out as a child, but I always felt like it was a trip, a journey. But watching them work at, I guess, this soul food haven and slot that we see. For me, they was working in the Waffle House, and I remember even at the Waffle House, and as an adult now, I see that the Waffle House is taken less seriously. But for me, it was a restaurant. I was like, oh, we going out. We at the Waffle House. I get to get breakfast, like everything that I want. To watch them at work, having to live life and not read into that as a young child, but to see these Black women, work and get what is theirs. And then towards the end of the movie, they got everything that they deserved. It's beautiful to watch. And then, me and you, LaTasha, it's beautiful to live. Because we both B.A.P.S. As I said in the beginning, it don't matter if I'm a prince or princess, we both B.A.P.S. Okay, both of us.
Yeah, we absolutely are. So let's dive into our dissection and say hello to more people. Hello, CJ. Hey, A-Barty. I'm so happy you guys are here. Welcome. We are going to get started with the opening shot at Soul Food Heaven and meet our main characters, Niecy and Mickey, our two BFFs who are also co-workers. And as we get to discover them, Niecy wants her hair salon, Mickey wants to own a restaurant one day. And even in this space, in their humble beginnings, you can see both of their dreams and their influences here, right? Because Niecy hooked their hair up and Mickey's on that food and she got it down, right? So I believe as we watch the movie and we see the visuals jump out, we're going to understand why this restaurant is specifically titled Soul Food Heaven, along with discussing like the color white and all of that, but I'm definitely going to circle back. So you guys keep that in mind. But these are pretty much unapologetically Black women. And I really enjoyed it because they are not the butt of the joke. This movie like organically and authentically honors like the ghetto fabulous. And usually when you see women with the nails, the gold tooth and the hair, is men doing drag or, you know, they're being mocked for their culture, but these women exist, period. And this movie like cradled that. And I really, really enjoyed that. And that's an ode to Robert Townsend. Like he does like silly Black, but authentic without like laughing at you. He's like, no, this is real. And it could be funny.
Exactly. He sets up good scenes where we're laughing with the characters. We're not laughing because of the characters or at the characters. Now, we may be familiar with some of the things which may make us chuckle, but that, again, as you said, isn't the butt of the joke. Like, it's much more serious than that. And I appreciate, okay, so first glance, Niecy or Mickey. Well, first of all, Mickey, she looked like she could throw down, even though they was waitresses. So when she said later on she wanted a restaurant, I was like, damn, girl, I eat at your restaurant. But Niecy or Mickey, whose hairstyle would you wear?
I would wear Mickey's hair. I would do Mickey's hair. I like the finger wave in the front and the waterfall on the side. It's very cute. I cannot do I wouldn't do a platinum blonde at that length. I feel like that's a lot. But definitely I would do Mickey's hair.
Especially in the 90s, it was a lot for them, right? Well, I guess as a child growing up, it was a lot for me, but like I felt like blonde was so aggressive then, whereas now it's so like expected or kind of pedestrian, if you will. Not to be with the Halle.
It's a city girl's wig. It's a city girl's wig. All girls got the platinum blonde lace front baby hairs on. What's up, Elle? Welcome to the room. And as we leave this opening shot, color theory is already jumping out. We're establishing what is the normal world, where are these girls from, and both of them are obviously in the color blue. And what's really happening here is that this is a story about the hustle, about making it, about reaching that financial freedom. So we're watching them in their humble beginnings, Niecy fighting over $10 at work, like begging her boss, do not take that $10 out my check. Let's meet the men, please. So the women are really investing in themselves. They want to be better. They want to win. They've got big dreams. And they're dating these guys who don't. They're giving nothing. These men are giving nothing. They're putting such little effort into their women and even into their own lives. And it's giving now and today. It's giving like today. It's giving like now and today. The effort, the lack thereof, please. So you can imagine why that color red is popping out right here, right now with these men, because I want to love you. I'd like you by my side. You ain't got no dreams, no ambition, and you ain't doing nothing for me. So what's tea? What are we doing? Right? What are we doing?
I'm going to stop you right there. You know what I'm saying? Because, the red, especially for the guys, especially for these two guys, and even the neutral, right? They're very, because the browns, the earth tones, down to earth, very real. But the red, especially because it got Atlanta on the cap, very real to me. But the red is passion, okay? They have their dreams, they have their passions. And I know you ended up that question at the end, but the real question is, how are we going to get this passion that we have, this love overflowing for you, for our business, for life? Okay, there's this passion that these men have, but the women are, I feel like at this point, well, Halle Berry at least, she's questioning her passion. So it's like she's met with this passion from the men, but now she has to be met with her. It's almost like a mirror for herself. Like, well, damn, they so passionate about that. And it's so easy to see someone. No. Well, hold on. Real quick. Look. For real, right? I know, but real quick, if I wasn't, because I am a nigga, so yes. But the objective, not I acknowledge that I'm a nigga and niggas be doing that. The objective side of me wants to acknowledge, like, maybe as a people thing. Sometimes when we see things in other people, it's like a red flag.
It's a big red flag.
And so whether the red flag is the niggas in your life or the red flag is what am I doing with my life, that's what I was taking from.
Okay. You wrong, but okay.
Not wrong. Objective. Okay. Because I acknowledge everything that you I acknowledge and believe and agree to what you say. But I would also like to offer another side.
I'm gonna tell you why as we go through it, but I want to make sure we get through. But this is where an opportunity arises, right? They do have their dreams. They want to make it out the hood. They want to get them riches and that wealth going on. So here's the thing. And as a creative, Assanté, I want to ask you this too. Mm-hmm. Nisi ultimately wants to be an owner of a hair salon, but I had to stop and think, you don't usually see characters with two dreams. Usually you see them, they're going after that one goal and stuff gets in the way. But she is her eyes light up when there's this video girl of the world opportunity. So I want to talk about that side dream, right? Because she's, as much as she wants to own a hair salon one day, she's absolutely enamored at this opportunity. So I wanted to know, did you ever have a double dream, or why do you think that would apply to Nisi?
Okay, so two things, because I'm gonna get high. So please remember the questions in case I need to, be yes. So yes, I've had two dreams. Actually, we kind of talked about this the other day personally. I told y'all, I was telling Latasha the other day that I went to a performing arts high school, and when I was younger, when I was really young, I got into arts. I was young and maybe second, third grade, I got into photography, and I was like, damn, this is beautiful. Being able to capture moments and essences. I feel like there's such depth to this and such clarity to this art. It was beautiful to me. So as I got older, and continued to explore the arts, I ended up at a performing arts high school where I studied acting and musical theater. I cannot sing for real, but if I could sing, I would be like a Broadway bully. That's what I like to say. But so I've had dual dreams in the sense of when I moved to New York, I knew that coming off of high school and going into college, that acting is something that I've always wanted to go into, but I don't want to say I was afraid, but I put it on the back burner because I knew New York was going to be such a saturated market. So I was like, if I move to New York, I'd be open to the idea of acting, but I'm not going to go for it full time because I feel like there's other shit that I'm great at and I can kind of get to realistically. But if this came up, I would be ready on deck for that. So watching Nisi be an entrepreneur, or have her entrepreneurial dreams as well as her creative dreams, I felt like that spoke to the depth of Black people and how much we crave culture and creativity and art to really harness how amazing we can be, or how amazing that we already are in these practical arenas, if you will. So that was so beautiful. I guess maybe it's funny that we're here in this market, because I guess that's something that could have spoke to me as a child, and I guess was imprinted in me whether I knew it or not. But I've always loved watching my mom. She, first of all, my mom is not a creative, but she always was about her life and her work and her children. So I felt like she's always been able to juggle these multiple things. So Black women, I've grown up around nothing but Black women, and I've always seen Black women be multifaceted. So this is a movie where not only did Black women be multifaceted, but I got to see it in a different light because they were being creative and whimsical in their fucking selves. They didn't have to code switch. They had to, because they had their nails, they had their hair, they had their teeth. They weren't trying to change their outfit or the way that they spoke to fit into any space. They were already who they were, and they were still getting to know themselves and chase who they wanted to be. And that's beautiful. Did I answer your questions?
I was feeling I was feeling this because for me in particular, I know what my end goal is, and I know the dreams I have to accomplish to get to that end goal. So like for me to be a screenwriter, I'm using like a YouTube space. So I'm like, okay, if I can build like a cool following on YouTube and talk movies so I can learn at the same time, then I'll use that to get there. And so I'm thinking about how these women in particular, where they're from, how much money they have, and what their life is. If ultimately she wants this bigger dream, she has to do a smaller dream first. Like she has to do double to access what somebody else would be able to access first and easily. So I thought that was like really interesting because I don't see that often in movies where a character has two totally different dreams, but it's still in line with what they ultimately want. And then Niecy says something here that I think is a theme throughout this movie, which I'll tie up. But there's like this sense of like this generational guidance for these women, because in this moment where she sees this opportunity again, she's like, my mama told me good things come in threes. And both of them speak about their mothers or their grandmothers, but we never actually see these women. But the way that these characters make decisions and the journeys that they do take is based off of those generational rules. And I thought that was like really beautiful. And I think that ties into like the bigger plot that ends up happening in this movie. Real quick, I want to talk about the gold tooth. If we could talk about the gold tooth, because this is ladies' night, it's Tuesday, and this should be a night where like the girls are feeling it. They're being honored by men. They're being bought drinks. They get let in for free.
They got in free.
They got in free, but unfortunately, none of the men who approach them can financially provide for them. They expect the women to buy the drinks because at least you got in for free. So Niecy at this point really starts to establish what she deserves in life, where her standards should be, what she's calling for in love, in money, in her career, and just her value in the world. She's like, this is not cutting it and this is not it, right? And even in this moment when she declares what should be her value, her boyfriend diminishes all of her aspirations. You ain't never going to get that. You ain't never going to achieve that. That's not even realistic. And you can see what's happening here between the two, how the color divides them both. The women are covered in the gold, right? And the men are covered in the blue, that blue representing the normal, the old world. And you can see that they're starting to transition out of this old world and heading towards the gold. So I thought that was really cool. And if you guys notice, if you watch this movie, the waitresses all here are wearing white. Of course, I'm gonna come back to
latex.
They was in them white latex jumpsuits. So let's get to the new world. Let's jump into Act 2 and let's see what's up. Here's the thing as well, and I'm gonna touch base with you too, Asante. I love the fact that they failed. I love the fact that they were unprepared, they were imperfect, but they just fucking believed in themselves. And I really thought that they was gonna do it. And I don't know, like, what did you think of this? Do you think that they are like delusional? Do you think they're just like innocently hopeful? Do you think that maybe Hollywood just doesn't like see their talent? Like, what do you think played a role in like how they approached this dream and how bad they failed?
Okay, so real quick, dialing back to the gold tooth, right? Because before they failed, it's like you said, the gold tooth. It was ladies' night, because I feel like there's something, when you were talking about it, I was like, this is something that really needs to be discussed. The etiquette at the gold tooth is something that still holds today for women, and it is sad for niggas, right? Because they got in free, they should be taken care of the entire night, but the niggas that they was with told they asses, because I just remember so vividly they being like, y'all got in free, y'all should buy us drinks. Mm-hmm. It's ladies' night. They got in free, so y'all could buy them drinks. So they could leave everything out. They could just come from wherever they at to come to ladies' night. Like, that's the entire point. So to watch them have to deal with these niggas and then be like, you know what? Not only are y'all not shit, we are shit, and we do the shit that we talk about. So to watch them go out for this interview or to go out for the audition, because like she said earlier, all good things come in threes. So she believed in that hard enough to where she was going to follow through. See, Black women have this follow through that Black men sometimes lack. And I don't want to group all of us together, because some Black men, they know what they want.
They love that pipe dream stage. They love that pipe dream
stage. But the way that each and every Black man goes for every woman they see, whether she's interested or not, because it's like, read the room, bro. She doesn't even know that you're here. Why would you come at her so aggressive? The way that niggas can do that for any and every woman, women, I feel like, do that in any and every ambition that they get. And men, sometimes that is missed upon us. So to watch Halle Berry say, this is a sign I have to go audition for Heavy D, RIP, like I'm supposed to be there. And then to watch her serve those girls in that audition line and be like, y'all think y'all got it because y'all got all this training. Well, I got all the confidence because I know I'm supposed to be here. There's something to be said about Black people just knowing that we exist, we're supposed to exist in spaces. So Halle Berry, look, first of all, they both are dressed. Like they both of these outfits here are iconic. The way that Clueless with Alicia Silverstone and Stacey are like those two outfits are iconic. These two outfits right here are iconic outfits. The hairstyles. Mickey had the booty out on the back, you know what I'm saying? Like everything about both of these looks are so unapologetic. They're so speaking to the flavor that us as a people bring, because everybody in this line here, like, look at them. They're just plain Janes. And they think, oh, we deserve it because we got whatever, because we trained for however long. Meanwhile, they know they deserve it because of the tenacity, okay? Now, even though if they failed, I feel like there's something about Black people that feel like they're supposed to fail anyway. But these women, they had to be told that they weren't good enough. And even then, that was not good enough for them.
Got you, heard you. I think it's incredible for Black women to have confidence, but I think we're also very much learning that confidence because we so easily feel that imposter syndrome because we meet this failure all the time. The world is always telling us, no, you don't belong here. You're too loud. You're too much. You're too stylish. You're too cultural. You're too Black. And we get that boot all the time. So I think it was inspiring to watch her just be like, fuck it, I'm going into the room. And, it happens. But they have an opportunity, and we can see the difference from where they started to where they're going, the similarities of these two buildings, the mansion versus Heaven Soul Food. And right here, we are in Act 2, and it came in a little early. Usually Act 2 is between the 20th and 25th minute mark, but this one is like 18. So this movie was getting going. But a stranger, after their failure, approaches them to be dancers in a music video. This is like right on the money. And so what was the payment for that? When Niecy originally was fighting over that $10, she now got to elevate for a payment of $10,000. So you can see the transition of her value increasing and going up. Obviously with the colors, we're in a new world. Green represents newness, new beginnings, especially with like greenery and plants. They're literally transporting into a new world. And I think this movie absolutely is having a discussion on class, right? You can see where we meet Manly, the butler, what a name, Manly, the butler, versus the women that are entering this world. And it's so funny the way that this was shot. He and another service worker, they both work for this mansion. They work for the house. They are both service workers. However, they are shot with this elevation and this power angle. Like, sir, you're the help. You're powerful to who? Like you're dismissing me and slamming doors in my face. You're the butler, sir. But you can see how that power dynamic carries throughout white professionals and Black professionals, how much more work we have to put in to be on the butler's fucking level. Excuse me? So it's so funny that they show him in a power angle. And when they shoot the women in this space, show them more in a depressive angle. People like literally looking down on Black women, poor people, Black culture in this new world. And I thought it was interesting, but there's two moments in this movie that should have solidified Miss Halle Berry. They should have solidified her as a comedy girl. And this was definitely one of them. Like this sequence here was like Halle put her foot in it. She showed off, she went hard, X, Y, and Z. I do want to move on and meet why we're here. This is Don, of course, with this white light shining over him. And we have the truth of that original plan, right? You're not actually here for a music video. You're actually here for Uncle Don, who is a white man dying from cancer. And he wasn't able in his lifetime to marry the love of his life, a Black woman who was also a service worker of the home. Her name was Lily. And this Don's nephew, Isaac, instructs Niecy and Mickey to act like you're Lily's granddaughter. Just give him the best of his last days. He won't be here long. That's really why you're here. Asante. These Black women are coming into this space, lying, using the riches to work in their favor. And me and my patients have spoken about this when we dissected Dream Girls, but I want your personal opinion. Do you think Black women can rig the system?
No, not at all. These Black women were bright. What was Isaac's last name?
I don't know.
Blackmore. Well, it might be Blackmore, but Blackmore. Okay.
Sound
So he
about right.
brought. So he brought more blacks because he wanted to scam. See, these are city girls. They had the dreams of their own. They got entangled in some shit. They thought they had to rob Peter to pay Paul so they could get to their dreams. It's Isaac's fault. These Black women was just making do with what they had.
That's exactly, yeah. And I feel the same thing. And we're actually going to see that later because we are definitely going to talk about that. But Isaac had such a specific plan, and his money and his wealth and his race played a role in how he orchestrated this entire plan. But what I really love about this movie, that there's just a lot of vibe scenes. Like, it's just a lot of scenes where you just vibe and have fun. And there's this big conversation in like the screenwriting world about what scenes are supposed to do. And if you ask the professional writers, you're like, when you have a scene, you absolutely either must be moving plot or exposing character. And a lot of these scenes, they're hanging out. And I like that. I like when people could just exist. Like, the movie doesn't have to be so structured and powerful or whatever like that. Like, they just vibing out. So we're actually setting new bounds with the color theory. Dawn is beginning to be their new normal. We see the color blue arriving in this new world as they're overtaken by all of this new experience. And what's really funny, and I mean throughout the film, you watch these two old white men, rich white men, incorporate Black culture into what they do. The butler being Mickey and Niecy's translator. Hilarious. I mean, how could you move past that, right?
It's funny that you say his name was Manly, because I totally forgot because they kept calling his ass Alfred.
Yes. Mickey was very dead set on like just not acknowledging you by your name, Alfred. Like, that's just who you're gonna be, because what are you gonna do? Nothing. Let's talk about Isaac right here as we reach the midpoint of the film, right directly where everything's going cool and great and the story's progressing. The midpoint fucks all that up. Let's throw a wrench in it. So Don's nephew Isaac actually has a sinister plan in motion for the women and his own uncle Don. And I thought this was a really great way to shoot that because we're sitting behind him. He's dressed in Black. This is him attempting to hide his identity and to hide the truth. What is he up to? It's leaving mystery. However, we got to look at the visuals. Why would there be an empty chair facing him? Why would there be a white marble sort of kind of keeping an eye out for Selena? Why is the white light drenching the front of him when we can only see the back? There's a whole conversation happening here, and I still ain't gonna answer it. Any guesses?
No, because, I didn't even pay attention to any of that at the time. Like, I just knew that first of all, as a child in the South, we knew racism was prevalent. So I just knew that these white people had no good motives. We start the movie off very Black, and then we introduce these Black women into these white spaces. So I was like, all right, well, it's beautiful to watch these Black men hold their heads high. But now that we have these white men in the game, I don't know where they're going to take them or how we're going to get out of it. So I didn't even realize at the time, like, I knew he was sinister, but I didn't read into all the sinister undertones then. Like, damn.
It's cool, boo. I got you.
You do.
Look, we gonna do it tonight. That's what the dissection is for. I want to just vibe out again with our Black icons. When this scene came up, I was like, yes. Okay, like, yes. We got Howard Hewitt, who I'm not quite familiar with. I'm going to admit that. I don't really know, but I know he's a singer and I know that voice. We got Howard Hewitt. We got Leon, because Miss Cynthia Bailey, you did right.
You did.
Okay, and did. And then, of course, we have the beloved Heavy D. And Heavy D actually was like a huge staple in my personal childhood. Like, I knew like where I was in life because of like Heavy D music. And I think my dad took me to like go see him live once. I remember meeting him and I was like, wow, I thought it was just so cool. I was like so tiny. I was like, wow, Heavy D. So I feel like personal about like his death and like him not being here because I could see my entire childhood with his voice.
You'll have moments.
Yeah. I want to drag this guy because fuck this guy.
Oh my God.
I want to real quick drag Antonio. So first, what I want to say about Mickey. I loved seeing a fat, dark-skinned Black woman be desired without being the butt of the joke and not being laughed at for wanting love. And I love that she had standards for her own body. Like, you're not allowed to touch me until you put a ring on my hand. Like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a fat Black woman really demanding her value in the way that she sees fit. And this is so... this is not what we usually see happen for fat women in real life, because men in real life treat them like, you should be so lucky I'm interested in you. And she's like, don't touch. And she's like, don't touch me. Like it's so good.
Then the nigga that she was with back home. Like, I felt like it was so beautiful to just see a Black woman in a relationship, like she wasn't being abused or she didn't have no issues with herself. It was just a big Black woman having to deal with an ancient nigga at home and an ancient nigga here on her vacation.
But see, this is where I disagreed with you, because they weren't in a relationship.
Oh, well, the nigga at home?
It wasn't like, yeah.
Well, no, but it's just in the sense that she still was just a fat Black woman having to deal with these types of niggas. Like, it wasn't like any of them was like trying to like emotionally abuse her, or she felt like self-conscious about her body. She was just able to exist and have to deal.
And so that's like kind of slightly my critique, but also I understand that they're displaying real Black romantic relationships, and this is pretty much what we deal with. But the original man that's like set up for Mickey wasn't quite choosing her. He was doing like this situationship with her. And then you have Antonio, who she's really emotional about, who's faking love with her so he can set her up. He wants her fingerprints on the safe. He's going to make it look like she's robbing the place. And I'm like, dang, can my sis get something? Like, sheesh, like, can my sis get something? But it's a movie. They got to tell a story. I get it. That's very real situations.
Even though it was a setup, though, I like how he didn't be like, at the end, be like, of course I don't like your stupid ass. Like, for real.
Got arrested very nicely.
Right. And they knocked that ass the hello.
Okay. Oh, well, let's look at it, because fuck this guy. He looks like Michael Jackson. They beat his ass. And this is like my second moment with like how funny they are together.
Yes.
How funny they are as actresses. I was like, the toilet and this scene, I was like, comedic gold, like comedy gold right here, where the women catch and.
But it was funny even at the audition, like when they was in the line, like dancing.
Oh yeah.
And then the fact when she turned around and saw their hair, and it was like, boo, yeah. Like those are moments that I will never forget. So they were funny. Like, we need Halle Berry in the comedy like tomorrow, honestly.
Tomorrow, because I really want to see it. So I actually wanted to touch base on what you hit on earlier, that the way Isaac used these people specifically for this robbery, because he knew to aim for Black women and he knew to get the assistance of a brown man. So the fact that this rich white man intentionally used Black and brown people to carry this out, so that would set him up more easily to get away with this. Like, of course the Black and brown people robbed the place. Look what's happening. Like, that was very slick, because they didn't say it downright, but like looking at it, you're like, that's very, very slick. And using the premise of a rap video to come snatch up these Black women, and just how white men demonize people that aren't of the white race. And that's pretty much what's happening here. Disgusting, but thank God we have Black women to the rescue. I mean, it's giving like black women came, a Black woman came to save Niecy and Mickey from this nonsense, right? From Isaac's secret plan. So again, we have this generational moment. Mickey she wants to heal Don. His health is not doing well. And she was like, I'm going to make a recipe my grandmother made. So we're having this like, this matriarch, like generational, like it was giving lemonade.
Ooh.
It was giving like 97 lemonade. Like my mama taught me this. My grandmama taught me this. And that's literally like.
So Beyonce was watching B.A.P.S.
Beyonce was watching B.A.P.S.
Had to be.
It's going to be her next Halloween costume. Bet on that.
It should be. She would kill that. Both, either.
So let's think critically here, because I have a question, and it's for anyone else who wants to jump in as well. So I have a question. So Don fell in love with Lily, who was a service worker and a Black woman. And now all these Black women are in service to Don. So usually like when we're watching films with like white people and Black people or rich and poor, things like that, a lot of movies turn Black women into like the helpers. They're only here to help white people reach their journey. Do we think that's just a happenstance in this story, or do we think that's something that's existing here, or how do you feel about what usually would make a Black stereotype in a movie?
I mean, what do you mean? Like, think about like bringing down the house, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the cool points are out the window. I feel like, Halle Berry and Natalie, they both had to deal with this white man who felt like, and you know what? I'm going to take it a step back, honestly, because when we first meet this white man, he has nothing but white people working for him. And it was almost like a breakdown because Manley was met with these Black women, I guess, who he kind of looked at as less than, but they're looking at him like nigga, you a butler, so your name is Alfred. So that was almost Isaac's breakdown in a sense, because it's like you almost didn't realize that with your little caste system that you were going to have some sort of breakdown because your lessers were going to come together with the other lessers, and that wasn't going to help you because you didn't care about your own kind, if you will. So I look at them as two, beautiful, powerful Black women that had to go through what they went through, but I feel like they rose to the occasion. They overcame adversity.
Yeah, I was like, they really walked a fine, tricky line here.
Yeah.
It almost gave, but
because they weren't like inherently evil. They were just kind of like, oh damn, this is some bullshit, and they were really considering like how to do what was gonna, clear their conscience and really not hurt anybody else because they didn't want to. They were just put in that position.
Yeah, I would say the major difference in like the Black stereotypes, like, the Black women who serve the story and the wellness of the white characters, is that those usual Black people don't get their own goals and wants and flaws and all that stuff, because these women are also fully humanized in this movie while wanting to help rich white people. I think it gave a perfect balance to not cross that line into mammyhood.
Yes.
Because I was like, okay, let me stop and think about how 3 Black women are helping a rich white man who fell in love with a Black woman service worker in that house. Like, let me think about it.
Like when you talk about it and you say it like that, it's like, what the hell was we watching? But then when you actually watched it, it's like, damn, it don't look like that, but it literally is there before my eyes. So how does it not look like that? Because it's Robert Townsend. He didn't make it look like that.
Right. And then the screenwriter is a Black woman, very light skinned. I'm not sure if she's giving biracial, but she's a Black woman as well. So I think they really did handle this with care, where it wasn't like, okay, why are we giving so much to white man now? And because of their kindness, Don offers the women $50,000 each, which makes their income grow from $10 to $10,000 to now $100,000. And at this big financial mark, they reject it. I think they're crazy. I think it's just a plot point. Because I was like, because they thought they could start their businesses when they got the 10 grand.
Right.
So now that they got 100 grand, they were like, no, I love him. I was like, we would have to tap out right about there and head back home, because that's a lot of money. But they, in the kindness of their hearts and their growing friendship with Mr. B, they do not take the money. And this proves to Don that they are to be trusted, just like the love of his life, Lily. So I want to talk deeply about Lily.
I thought you were about to talk about, like, because for that, it's like, oh, so Black people are not to be trusted, but the white person says Black people can.
Gave him the green light, right?
Right.
Green light. There's a really cool inversion here with Don's history compared to what Niecy is currently experiencing, where Don was pretty much the ancient nigga for Lily, just the way Niecy's complaining about. Don says Lily made him make something of himself, because he also was just like kind of floating around, like not doing much. But here's the thing. Lily's labor and ambition and passion made him rich, and Lily wasn't here to experience it. her dreams and her work served to his success. And this directly contrasts Niecy's journey because Niecy's man has no ambition. He's doing a pipe dream, but he don't lift a finger day in and day out to actually make those dreams happen, which is the big problem. So you say you want to do this thing, but you ain't moving, baby. Meanwhile, she's outside busting her ass to make sure her dreams happen. So I think this right here touches on a major racial component, and they don't overtly say it because that would just kill the whole vibe of the film.
Right.
But they touch on a major racial component, how a man like Don could fail up to wealth. But if Niecy's man ever tried this, like, what is Black labor to people who are constantly exploited, right? Like Niecy's man would never be able to fail up towards wealth off of the labor of Niecy. They both would just be broke forever. And
white privilege.
That's white privilege. And the fact that this man cared so deeply for her and loved her so much, but her labor put her in the grave and gave him wealth. I was like, ooh.
Damn.
Wow.
Hearing that from a Black woman and realizing like, ooh, that was a major plot point. Like, goddamn, because for me, as a child, I was just focused. Like, as a homosexual child, I was just focused on the fashions because I saw this slide pop up and I was like, "Oh, this is where her and Mickey had like the matching like Moo outfits, and they was in the club tearing it up."
Yes, you're so silly.
Look, that's what I thought about because there are so many threads in a film, if you will, and for me, I really saw how Black people always brought our own flavor to the table. Like, even in this scene where it's like supposed to be this rich white man just going out with these two Black women who, I guess, upon first look, somebody could be like, damn, I bet he bought these bitches or whatever. But it's really this tale of these two women who are out here trying to get their shit and get it going and have to deal with these ancient niggas at home. And now they're clearing the conscience of this white man who was an ancient white man to his dead Black woman. It's like funny to watching like them have to, I guess, break this generational curse for his ass and I guess get broke off on the end. Like, who knew? Wow, thanks, Latasha.
You're welcome. That's what we're here for. I was like, this Lily story. I'm like, because
I think I was trying to look past it. I don't know what I was like. Oh, she dead. I don't care. Keep talking. But like now, if you acknowledge it as I should have, and now I feel like a terrible brother doing that for being like, damn, ignoring his sister's story just because she passed, but she's his lifeline because he stole her life. God damn, like I need to tune back in.
The next time I watch it, I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna say this.
Right.
And of course, they have this glowing, beautiful white light on them. This was just a stunning shot. My favorite look. Fucking Halle Berry. She looked so beautiful in this look. And of course, Alfred Lash Manley helps her get her love back. Because what Don says in that scene right before was, there's no amount of fortune in the world in exchange for true love. So you could have all the riches, but go get your love. Don's biggest regret in his life was not getting his love. So he made sure to set that up. Ali comes back to claim Niecy. This is his love. So let's talk about gold. Let's talk about the color gold, okay? I don't know where that Chris Rock impression just came from. It came out of nowhere. So at the Gold Tooth, the men cannot financially afford to love the women. And throughout the movie, the women are wearing this yellow and orange and gold when they're trying to fit into a world that makes them feel invaluable, that tosses them out. And then when Ali comes for Niecy, he's wearing a gold tie as she's donned in this beautiful gold robe. So what is gold?
I'll be loving you forever. So I love that song because of that whole little scene that they all had. I was like, it's good. Like, let's talk about that black love. That look, gold is black love. That's what gold is.
Gold is black women, honey. We bring the value, and this is what the black women lineage up until Niecy and Mickey have taught us. We the gold. We've been
the gold. They're the commodity.
That's it. Like when we open up this film and we see those gold teeth, like our first instinct is to laugh or say, oh, they ghetto or X, Y, and Z. But they wore something that represented how valuable they were in the beginning.
They wore with pride.
Yes. Yes. And I even think Niecy's blonde hair is serving as that gold crown. Like, babe, you are valuable, period. Like, that's it. Like, that's it. So we go here where Halle is looking, gorgeous. Don is going. He's obviously being showered in that white light. Niecy has her blonde hair and she's actually has gold makeup on here. Like, you're really stepping into pussy, just like stepping into it. And purple is also very much known as the color of royalty. So you can actually see the moment she becomes a princess. Like, and why? Because she actually at this point loves Don as family. Like that love is in exchange for all the fortunes. A. Barty said, the depth. CJ said, the way Latasha's gonna make you rethink your faves.
Listen, all of them, everybody did such a phenomenal job in this because especially when you talk about like Halle Berry like transforming her, making her transformations to the princess, it's like even though her nigga got her as the gold, she got the security that she needed. Like even though she is the goal to attain, it's like she attained what she wanted herself. So it's like she attained the piece that she needed. And then it was like kind of fucked up with that moment of turmoil with this nigga croaking, but it was almost like her passing the test or her having like to go through like another trial and her passing. So it was beautiful to watch, even though this movie scene is so ridiculous, like all these like trials and tribulations. And even though it's comedy, how endearing it all was. So what a journey between both of them. Because Mickey along the way, even though Halle Berry was like the main focus, Mickey just had so much great side commentary to add. So I love this movie.
It's an incredible buddy comedy, and it's so satisfying to watch Black women get what's owed to them. Pay me. Hello. Amen. Pay me. Let's talk about the will before we get up out of here. Again, the financial glow up between the women. And this was all very intentional. They went from arguing about $10 to making $10,000 for some music video to making $100,000 for Don. And when he leaves them behind, they leave with a whopping $100 million.
Honestly, and I know this is going to sound rude, but I guess it's because of the times. I thought that white man would have had more money, but I'm glad that they came up the way that they did because all the niggas deserved everything and more because they was great people. And, you know, white guilt is real. So he fulfilled, I guess, his white guilt wishes and dreams in his death. So thank you, white man. Fuck you, but thank you.
Period. Like that's literally what we're talking about. We're talking about what is owed. As Don joins Lily in the afterlife, he leaves everything covered. You can see in this room as they're discussing the will, that white light showering everything and everyone. Everything, right?
This man, Lily said when he arrived, Lily said, now I could be seen with your white ass to heaven.
Let me go get my man.
Okay. I'll be loving you forever. Look, that was a bop. I should have went and listened to that soundtrack, but when that song was playing with that scene with them on like the little patio or whatever, and they was having to talk to their little ancient niggas before Don's ass decided he wanted to croak and shit, I was like, this is such a move.
Oh, it was beautiful. We love Black romance. It was gentle, it was soft, it was nice. We want that, but as we wrap up here, Don joins Lily in the afterlife. He leaves everything covered and he repays Black women what Lily couldn't experience while she was alive. And I really wanted to attend to the fact that the end is the beginning because we started with what? Heaven, soul food. And so now we got heaven here on earth, right? You know, the women often spoke of their mothers and their grandmothers. So we're definitely speaking of Black women lineage, what is owed to us, all of the years of our exploited, unpaid labor. And so we had that color white starting from the beginning, even the color of the restaurant. We had the color white covering them from beginning to end. I believe, y'all go ahead and make your own theories because you know I love to hear them. I believe that white light that was glowing on them from beginning to end was the divine coverage. I believe that was Lily watching over them the entire time. Every failure, every mistake, every interruption was all in this divine guidance, just like your mother's, just like your grandmother's, because I got you. Like,
so two Black women trying to find their way, and a Black woman, look, she saw those signs that Black woman might lined up for her.
Yes.
LaTasha.
Like my mama said, signs come in, good things come in threes. That's a sign. So think about your mama's mama, your ancestors, your divine lineage. Like, Lily had you the entire time, and she was going to bring you here.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Atlanta, because they was from Atlanta. Everything about that was Atlanta for me. So shout out to the original City Girls. This was a true ATL tale, okay? Because that was some crazy shit about these women with that little opening of this shop in Decatur. Like, who wants the pager cab service? But it just looks so fresh and so fly at the end. Like, we just got to talk about how bomb Black people are.
See it. Yeah, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. I just wanted to stay with Lily real quick, because remember when I was talking about Isaac in that empty seat in the white light, who can see him? That was Lily sitting there.
Oh.
So like, while he had a secret plan, Lily was looking at him right in the face, and she was like, "Yeah, go ahead. I'll wait. You let me know when you're done. Tap me when you're done." And so I really love this movie, because it shows us like the dream, the fantasy of what we actually deserve, like for all the women before us. But even the last colors between Niecy and Mickey, how the women are in blue and white. Obviously, they're in their new normal, so we have blue, but they're fully inheriting Lily's gold, so they're dressed in white. And then, they're Black American princesses. They're simply claiming their inheritance. And of course, their salon restaurant named Lily's in honor of the women who laid that path of wealth for them, who didn't get to experience it herself. And all the Black women win. You still got that Black lawyer. She's like, I'm
with the hair,
and I'm gonna stick beside him.
Yep, she got their hair, and they both got the white on with the white limo.
Yeah. And literally looking up. It's like they're looking towards heaven, right? They're literally looking up at Lily, who they dedicate their restaurant to. So it was really, really, really beautiful. And you can see from the beginning that soul food heaven to Lily's restaurant at the end. Full circle.
You know what? Now I'm gonna have to rewatch this just to see, like, because especially the way that you pull these scenes, like how they're looking up, like when they showed them. Because I do remember them showing them like from above. So it's like, are we looking down on them? Or are they really looking up at us? Like are they looking up to their blessing? Or are they being looked down and frowned upon? Like,
oh, that's a good point, because that was the same angle from when they entered that mansion. That people were like in that looking down on them. But not with the paparazzi outside. They said, "Pull up."
Okay.
Yes, we won.
All press is good press.
All press is good press. Asante, thank you so much for doing this with me tonight. I really appreciate you.
Anytime, like. Bring me back for another Robert Townsend film. I'm telling you, he was that nigga. Or even the TV show, The Parenthood, was so good.
The Parenthood was really good. Low Down Dirty Shame.
Oh Lord, with Peaches and them. Yes.
Peaches. Jada, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. But I thank you so much for picking such a great movie, and of course, providing your insight.
Thank you, LaTasha, for choosing me to choose this great movie so that we can talk about how great of a job you have done in talking about what an awesome movie that it was.
Everybody's saying goodnight to you. And A-Barty suggests the next dissection should be the 5 heartbeats. Y'all ain't ready for that. Is y'all ready for that? Oh man. All right, y'all go off and watch your TV. VMAs is tonight. Who do you want to see perform? The obvious. Say it together. 1, 2, 3.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay.
Oh, no,
okay, I thought we were gonna land in the same place.
I don't even know.
No, actually, I was saying that because like it's very popular right now, but I do want to see Doja. That's what I want to see.
Oh yeah, Doja Cat. Yeah, I'm living by her Pepsi commercial, but she ain't paid to be here. So good night to y'all. Stay Black and protect your magic.
That's it. Bye, y'all. And we have ended the stream.